Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Community Report. I am Dari Ido. Almost all spheres of Nigeria's ecosystem has had a taste of the effect of the increasing brain drain in the country. To say it in a language that many can relate with, Japa is eating all sectors. The tech space is one of the most affected now. What can the government and individuals do to retain the country's skilled workforce? On this episode of the program, we're focusing on an effort of the tech community aimed at minimizing the trend by engaging a cohort of young Nigerians who are housed for 3 months. They learn, live together, create experiences, and share a common purpose of leading a better life. Economic prosperity and wealth creation in developed countries have been associated with technological advancement and digital innovation. Africa's tech ecosystem has experienced massive growth, and Nigeria is playing big in that space. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics buttresses the landmark growth of the tech sector in Nigeria. And as the information and communication technology sector contributed 20.32% to Nigeria's GDP in Q3 of 2022 as compared to the 15.33% in Q3 of 2021, representing the sector's highest contribution to the country's real GDP in 5 years. How can Nigeria sustain the gains of the sector?
250 million in revenue.
Roland Omoreshemi seems to have an idea that is working. He's building a community of young Nigerians who are offered free residency training in tech.
So the objective of Citizen Academy is to groom resources for our purposes. So basically taking young kids, young adults graduating from college with exposure to technology and putting them through an intensive 3-month training to enable us equip them for life post the graduate studies. So we basically work with them to develop capabilities around software testing, around software development, around product management. So basically, equipping them in areas of specialization that are hard to find today. And then also putting them through a process that will enable them stay here in the country. So our intent basically is to see how we can groom these resources, equip them well enough, pay them well enough, expose them to other ways of life that they're unused to, train them, expose them to professional skill, help them acquire professional skills, and then also cater to their needs around logistics, security, housing, hoping that we can curb the whole Japa syndrome, keep them here within the country. Young Nigerians deciding to leave the shores in pursuit of better lives out there. So our thought is to reduce attrition, to ensure loyalty of our workforce, that it was better for us to set up this establishment where we're able to train people, give them what they need, and if we're able to give them a lot of what they need, that they seek elsewhere, maybe let them stay in the country. So that's what kind of got us going. One of the key things that we thought we needed to do was, how do we put people who are going to work together, how do we put them under the same, environment, where we expose them to not just the curriculum from a work perspective, but just curriculum of life. So we've got Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, people from Nairobi, Kenyans, all, within the same environment, some dialing in virtually, and they live together for 3 months. So what we're hoping we will find will be, a situation where, lifelong relationships are developed, integrity are learned together, they're all drinking from the same cup of Kool-Aid. So to the extent that there's uniformity around our workforce and culture, understanding. So we thought it will be a great idea to have them within this environment for 3 months straight, where they get to know each other, get to trust each other, get to work together. We believed it will be to the benefit of the organization and also to the country, because there's just a lot of trust around, or lack of trust around ethnicity in Nigeria, for example. So But what we're hoping is that lifelong relationships will be developed because these folks are under the same roof, learning, and we're seeing a lot of that already. So in the third court now, there are 3 or 4 relationships evolving out of this. People working together, and these are people from different tribes getting to date and know each other. And then in the workforce as well, just the trust level, we've seen the relationship here. We've seen how it's translated into better work performance, because over time, they've just come to trust each other. So.
The testing principles, we have 7. Number 1, testing shows the presence of defects, not their absence. 2, exhaustive testing is impossible, like we've mentioned. 3, early testing saves time and money. This is critical. Number 4, defect clusters together. That means you can be testing from 1 to 9 and be like, oh, there's no much defects in this thing, and you forget about 10. Meanwhile, all the defects might cluster in 10. So beware. Number 5, beware of the pesticide paradox. That is, if the same tests are repeated over and over again, eventually this test no longer find new defects. You might keep testing the same parameters and you won't find defect and just think it's okay. So
this cohort of young Nigerians are back in the building where they lived and learned for 3 months.
Then there is what is called acceptance testing. One objective may be to confirm that the system works as expected and satisfies requirements. This is something we've beaten.
They continue to share ideas among themselves and as well build a strong bond, and that explains the energy in this room.
Thank you.
The structure enables everyone here to cross-develop and establish bonds and alliances. Ajibola Adekunle is creating a new path for himself. His love for tech is not a total departure from what he's always wanted.
I started the tech journey. I studied transport management technology in FUT-MENA, University of Technology MENA. And at my 500 level, 2019, I started to delve into tech with the primary objective of building a transport application that work in the transportation industry. That was what brought me to tech. So the 3 months were, I would always say, I do tell my colleagues that this is like the best 3 months I've had in my life. It was wonderful. I met strangers, people that were strangers, and within a couple of weeks, we were already brothers and sisters. It was wonderful learning together and seeing each other face to face and trashing out obstacles together. It was wonderful.
Zoka is now a test analyst and she seems to be enjoying every bit of the experience.
It was a crazy experience because I actually came from Jos for this program. So I came from far, so I was really nervous about meeting these new faces. But I can tell you that I had an amazing experience with everybody here. It was more like a family. And I feel like the management, like the selection process and everything, they did a really good job in bringing all of us together. As if we all had our minds on the goal. We know what we came here, so we were really focused. So it was an amazing experience.
2 hours every day to study so I can prepare.
We wake up early. Our classes begin at 9, so by 9, in fact, before 9, our breakfast is ready. It's already set out on the table, so we have our breakfast, and then by 9 we are ready. By 6 we are up. We have our bath. Then by 9 we are down. All of us are downstairs with our laptops set up, and our classes begin. So after our trainings normally extend maybe from 9 to 12, the first session. We have our lunch and then continue with the classes till probably, let's say, 3. And then most times it was activity packed, because after then you have to, we do like, should I say, a catch up all of us together for what we've done. We have classworks, assignments, so there is always something to do because you don't want to be behind. And another thing, we're always carrying, there was that team spirit, and we're all carrying each other along and having training sessions within ourselves.
Leonard is passionate about his idea of interest and how much is learnt here.
Apparently, I am the person that a product or software goes through before you can ascertain that product to be quality enough to go to the end user. So in terms of like security, that's what it means in essence. When you hear security, what comes to your mind? Who makes sure that everything is on check? Who keep guards of things to protect them? So my job evolves around protection right, privacy right, the privacy right, and then making sure that the product is not violating the rules of the end users, and then the product is good. And then we are in the 21st century. A whole lot is happening on the global space, the online space. There are criminals, fraudsters, and the rest of it. So we try to make sure that any product that is going out is good enough that attackers, even though, because no product is 100% secured, but even though the attackers are going to try, it will take them a while before they are able to be successful. We would have noticed from our end that, okay, something is happening to our product. So we put checks and measures in place to make sure that our product, scale to that extent that is not just a walkthrough for attackers or fraudulent people. So that's what I do. I make sure that products are of standard when it comes to security.
A report by PwC titled Brain Exports Growing the Nigerian Economy indicates that Nigeria already has a large diaspora, and the wealth of young talents in Nigeria are strong assets that give the country an edge. High-value opportunities like programming and software development need special attention, and Nigeria can produce as many as 1.5 million of these in the next 5 years. The programmer target is in line with capturing 17% of the software development jobs expected to hit the market in the next 10 years.
It has been nice because we came different religion, there's no bias in any way. We all unite together and work together as a team in the house for a whole 3 months, and it has been nice. Irrespective of your background, like me personally, I came from the architectural background. I had a master's degree in architecture, but this love for tech, I wanted to transition into tech, and looking for a mentor and maybe someone who could carry me and give me the right direction.
The tech ecosystem has been hit by Japa, a Yoruba word which loosely translates to run away or escape. Now, acquiring tech skills in this climb is seen largely as the ticket to leave the country.
I, for one, I'm a kind of person, probably because of the family I grew up in, I've never been the Japa kind of person. I've always believed in Nigeria, and I know someday I will create solutions to the Western and the European countries, but I'll still be here in Nigeria. I just love Nigeria as a person.
So we all want a bigger play field to exercise our talent and skills. But for me, I don't think I have any desire yet to go out there. But, the country is deteriorating, but we keep praying and we keep hoping that, we have the ability and the opportunities people have outside there, that will have it here. And then one of the things that I'm grateful for, which I think will increase my stay here, is this opportunity that I've gotten from TESA. It's not a common thing in this country. So when we got the opportunity, we felt like, for me, I didn't think it was real, because I've been in the cybersecurity space for quite a while, trying to get opportunities like this. It happens everywhere in the world. People get this, people get free training because of the high demand for cybersecurity. So it's one of the places where people get free skills all over the world. But it's not so for Nigeria, because it's a welcoming, it's a kind of a new tech skill tech skill. So people have not bought into it. Organizations don't yet see the need, because they'll be like, what are we paying 1.2 million for a cybersecurity analyst monthly for, when we've never been hacked before? So I won't say, I'm not sure it's in my plan anytime soon, because I want to be able to, duplicate what I've learned here, spread it across board, help TESA in any way I can, to make sure that we train as much people as we can, get more hands, more competence. And there is the array of job for cybersecurity analysts in 2030 will be about 5 million, if I'm not mistaken, around that amount. So what are we doing? So we all want to put hands together to make sure that we recruit as many people as possible, give them the needed skill as possible to be job ready when this opportunity comes. And then in Africa alone, the number of attack that goes on with startup, and Africa is brilliant with startup, fintech, transport tech, a whole lot of things, edutech. We are brilliant with tech startups, but there are no measures for security because security is expensive. So there are no measures to cater for these startups that are coming. So those guys are prone to attack, and then they attack them, and then they are not recorded. Nobody hears about it because there's no proper channel to send out this information. That's okay. These things are happening to these guys, so they go unreported. We are trying to, when I coming into this space, that's one of my ideas, to help people, especially startups, and then grow talents that can meet with these startups, meet up with their need, help them to functionally begin to hire our own in-house talents from Nigeria-made talent, to help solve the peculiar challenge that we have here. I mean, I could understand the Nigerian attacker better than a white man would understand the Nigerian attacker. If Omar Yami is chatting with me, I know that this is my brother. Yeah.
People want to Japa, that's the main goal, last to Japa. So anybody that'll tell you that going into tech not to Japa, it's a lie. Everybody wants to Japa, but the way the company is growing, they're making the country, whatever it is they're doing, to be very comfortable for people not to even imagine traveling out.
Software testing, what it actually entails is the process or way to assess quality of a product or software and to reduce the risk of software failure during operation. We all know about international standards, like we have SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, we have NAFDAC, and the likes, IMO, International Maritime Organization, ISO, International Standard Organization, ICAO, that's in transportation. These are guys that set regulations, that international standards or benchmark that a product must meet before it can go to the public. So in software development too, we have such standards. That's what we call software testing. So software testing now is bringing your project, your website, your application, whatever it is, your URL, your API, subject it under testing. And it must meet certain standards, quality assurance, before it can go live. So that's basically what software testing entails.
Personally, I came from the architectural background. I had a master's degree in architecture, but this love for tech, I wanted to transition into tech, and looking for a mentor and maybe someone who could carry me and give me the right direction. And Tesla showed up, and Tesla has given me a soft landing into transition into tech. So we try to make sure everyone is carried along at every point in time, and it has been nice because we came different religion. There's no bias in any way. We all unite together and work together as a team in the house for a whole 3 months, and it has been nice.
Apart from going through university and meeting different people, this is like the first time I've had to work with people hands-on, be in the same space with them, work with them. My teammates are the best, so we always keep in touch. Even we get to work together at client side. So there's this thing we normally say, we're never leaving anybody behind. So we always on WhatsApp, we always try to connect. They're the best.
With the belief that many local and international companies are chasing the same talent pool, the issue is felt across board. Roland explains what they've been able to do to keep the attrition low.
What we try to do here, we try to make sure that there's a direct correlation to a need. So in that way, we don't have people just sitting on the bench. So the need out there is what's driving our training requirement. So with placement, we have literally almost 100% placement today. So for those who we train, we try to place as well. In instances where they're not placed right away, we have what we call ARTP, which is our accelerated resource transition program, where we place resources who had gone through this program. We match them with other people who are out already in the workforce, so they can have this shadow experience within the same workspace that they want to get into. We have testers shadowing testers, developers shadowing developers within the vertical whether it's a bank, an insurance company, or telco, that might be of interest to them. We want to give back, but then we want to give back intelligently as well. So we bond our resources for a 2-year period. I mean, it serves multiple purposes. So our training investment in in all the resources that come through is about 3 to 4 million per person. From the day they come in, we feed them 3 times a day. There are 2 chefs here, there are 2 security guards, and cleaners. We have a vehicle and driver, and so we cater to them from the day they get here until the day they finish their graduation. This building we're in is a 20 bed facility, state of the art, equipment all around, data, 3-level redundancy around power. So they're exposed to a lot of things that they ordinarily would not have been exposed to before. So we spend some money. And to kind of preserve that, we're asking them, and we also have like a financial transparency here within our company, an accounting transparency that enables them to see what we get paid as a company. We let them see that. But then we also show them their career path framework from when you get in until retirement. You could actually see what you could be and the money remuneration that aligns with your career. But at the same time, as they're finishing their program here, we're letting them know they have to sign an agreement for a 2-year bond, which means if they were to leave within those 2 years, they'll have to pay that amount. But in exchange for that, they have a facility here where they get trained. They have the placement right away. They have a salary of 250,000 naira right after graduation. They get a stipend of 65,000 while they're here, while they're going through the academy. And it's free. They didn't have to pay for the training. But we've been fortunate enough to where some would actually even stay longer than the 2 years, even without the bond. But the advantage to our client is you have a continuous workforce for 2 years. And then for us, the return on our investment is that we're able to work with them for the 2 years. And for them, also is, they pay back and put back into the hat, with this 2-year commitment that they give us.
The Nigerian tech space achieved a great milestone in 2022 and also faced some challenges. Most of these achievements remain a crucial factor necessary to boost the country's GDP and financial inclusion. The need to make deliberate efforts to minimize brain drain that may continue to affect the sector is becoming more pressing. And that's our show for today, everyone. If you miss any part of it, you can watch it on our YouTube channel. You can also follow the conversation on our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Dare Ido. See you next time, and bye for now.